to win here at RFK Stadium. The Giants will be kicking off to the Redskins on our right. Deep for the Redskins, Ken Jenkins is back. Eric Schubert, already a legend to Giants fans, puts one up high, hangs it to the 5-yard line, and Jenkins will bring it out. Big opening on the left side for Jenkins, and he turns it up past the 35-yard line, taken out of bounds there. Hustling down was Lawrence Taylor, who comes down on that special team kickoff unit of the Giants. There is Theisman. We talked about him a moment ago. Look at the interceptions. They have had a troublesome time here this season. These Washington Redskins, they haven't done it in bunches. They lose one, they win two, they lose two, they win one, they lose two. But nobody has quite come up with a solution. There have been many changes in personnel. We'll talk about that throughout the course of the game. Meanwhile, 1st and 10, the setback is John Reagan, big number 44. They'll work him to the left on the first offensive play at scrimmage tonight. Reagan works for about 3 to bring up 2nd down and 7. Let's take a look at the defensive unit. The Giants, it'll change considerably situationally, of course, as all teams do today. Casey Mara will work in, good pass rusher, as will George Martin. And still not back in the lineup is 3-time Pro Bowler Mark Haynes. Elvis Patterson over the left cornerback, still doing a fine job, and Mark Haynes, who will probably see more action tonight, however, is not starting. Reagan, the single setback once again. Monk is in motion on 2nd and 7. Theisman is back. And firing 2 Reagans on a little circle pattern. He gets maybe a yard out of that. Nailed by Harry Carson, the inside linebacker of the Giants. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And Reagan does not do that very often. He is not one of your prime receivers, and who would know better than his former teammate, Joe Namath.
John has a good pair of hands. They just don't throw him the ball very often. Now, this is the exact kind of situation we're trying to avoid if you're a Washington Redskin offensive player. It's 3rd down and long. You have to stay out of those situations. Throw the ball on 1st down.
The ball resting just over the 40-yard line. Theisman with Monk to the right. Tries to get the screen off. He does. He goes for Griffin. But Griffin is hit. And hit from behind. Casey Merrill came in on the pass rush, slipped back out to the outside, and was able to make the stop short of the 1st down near the 43-yard line. So the Redskins, with their first offensive possession, bring out their punter. And a good one he has turned out to be. They picked him up after the 3rd game of the year when they lost Jeff Hayes against the Chicago Bears. You're looking at Steve Cox, and you're looking downfield to Phil McConkey. 9.9 on his return average. Cox. And Cox lost the pass. That's taken downfield by Raphael Cherry, who will be starting tonight as a safety, but the rookie former quarterback gets the pass. It was almost messed up by a bad snap from Jeff Fosse. I'm sure the play was called. It bounces right in front of Cox. He goes through with the fake. Now he lost one up there that Cherry almost had to call for a fair catch to make the catch. But he gets the 1st down, and the Redskins with a trick play on their very first 4th down and punting situation have a 1st down at the Giants' 46-yard line. Play action to Reagan, and Theisman is back. He wants a deep one. Man is open, and Theisman underthrows. Monk had gotten behind Elvis Patterson. Theisman underthrew, and already the Boo Birds are out.
That was a bad underthrow. He had him beaten severely here. You see, he has him beaten by 2 or 3 yards. Joe really made a poor pass. I think he just threw it too late. That's the reason it didn't get downfield far enough.
He was there, and perhaps Joe dallied with his play action of John Reagan just a moment too long. Had he been able to release it a little quicker, that would have been 6. Gary Clark. James Madison moves to the left as wide receiver. He's number 84. Art on top of your screen. Number 81. 2nd down and 10. Reagan tries to work left, and down he goes. Harry Williams, the cornerback, was right up at the line of scrimmage, and he nails him right there. There's Raphael Cherry, who will start at strong safety tonight for an injured Tony Peters, and we'll try to delineate all of the Redskins' injuries defensively because they have a bunch of them. Joe Gibbs in the middle of that. There he is with the headset. Came in 81 from San Diego, and he's been so successful. 2 Super Bowl trips in the last 3 years. But what a struggle it's been this year. 3rd and 10. Keith Griffin, number 35, works well out of the backfield as a receiver. Theisman back again. Rifles a shot, is complete to Munt. And he'll have first down yardage inside the 35, near the 34-yard line. Art Munt, by the way, did not play 4 weeks ago when the Giants defeated these Redskins 17-3 up in New York. However, he can be one of the most explosive receivers in football.
And when you get that type of time to throw, you're going to complete a lot of passes. I was keeping my eye on Russ Grimm on that play. As I mentioned before, he's an all-pro guard who's going out to tackle, and he's probably a little quicker than Joe Jacoby was, and he's done thus far a pretty good job on Leonard Marshall, who's having his best year.
First 10. Good body right. And Riggins hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe squeezes out a yard in the arms of Curtis McGriff. We'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Riggins for the season, just under 600 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. Doesn't work much during the week because of a back problem that he's had for the past couple of years. Only worked this past week on Friday and Saturdays. And as we look at Bill Parcells, who perhaps many of you don't know that much about, we'll try to tell you a little bit about him because you may be hearing a lot about him for the rest of the season and into the playoffs. 2nd and 9. Didier in motion. Theisman takes a little bit off it, and he hits Monk underneath, close to the 30-yard line. Only a gain of about 3. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Again, those are the kind of passing situations you want to try to avoid, the long yardage situations. I don't think these Redskins are going to be able to make a living on the ground tonight. The Giants shut them down the last time they played in New York. So I really would like to see them throwing the ball more often. And 2, Joe hasn't been getting the best protection in the world, and that's one of the reasons he has a lot of interceptions at this point. They've been behind. They've had to play catch-up football. The other teams knew it, and they put pressure on him, and he's had the problems with the interception. That's the reason.
And Theisman called a quick timeout. He was going to go on a quick count when he called timeout. That could have almost been called a fumble snap, but Theisman quickly had the arms up there. Martin quickly covered the football, but Theisman gets the timeout. Parcells is, well, he's not sure he likes that at all.
You know, that's something a quarterback has to be very careful of. I'm surprised Joe almost made the mistake. If he has the count, if the snap count is on the first sound, he better get up there and know that. And the first sound he makes, the center's going to snap the ball, so he better get away from the center.
No score, 9:19 remaining in the first quarter. The Redskins on the move. They have the ball inside the Giants' 31-yard line, 3rd down and 6. Keith Griffin, number 35. He works well out of the backfield as Monk moves in motion. Drills a shot, and it goes to Gary Clark. The rookie in the NFL comes down with the football for a 15-yard pickup, and the Redskins keep the drive alive to the 15-yard line.
He simply runs a down and in pattern. He has the cornerback already behind him in the chase position. Kennard nearly makes a fine interception here. Kenny Hill, he gets here just a little bit late, and I want to tell you, Theisman had some heat on that pass.
But a surprise find has been Gary Clark. He played a couple of years in the USFL with Jacksonville. He came from James Madison, a little college in Virginia. That was his 40th reception, however, the season, and there's movement and contact made. The Redskins, Ken Huff is saying the Giants had made the initial move. Our referee tonight is Fred Wyant. He didn't need to tell you the preliminary call was against the Giants.
Encroachment, number 64.
Jim Burt, the nose tackle, moves across. And the Redskins will have a first down and 5, and they'll mark it just outside the Giants' 10-yard line. Giants 7-3, a win tonight. They'll be 1 game ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. They'll be 3 ahead of the Washington Redskins, 2 ahead of Philadelphia. And it would be their 5th consecutive win. Play action again to Reagan. Theisman. Warren, the tight end, diving into the end zone, and the Redskins, who moments ago, back near their own 40-yard line, on a 4th down punting situation, got the first down with a shot from Theisman. They bring it down all the way. They go in front 7-0, or at 6 at this point.
This is a busted coverage. They have Lawrence Taylor on the outside and a wide receiver. He didn't know where to go. He went downfield and left Warren wide open.
right, and the Redskins are on the scoreboard first. They lead the Giants 7-0. 8:22 remaining in the first quarter. And the veteran from San Diego State, with his 12th reception of the year, has put the Washington Redskins out in front 7-0. You saw John Riggins puffing on a little oxygen there. It's very warm, kind of sticky, if you will. The temperature in the 70s in the Washington area here today, and in the middle 50s at the moment. Steve Cox hangs it up high for George Adams, the rookie from Kentucky, and he bobbles it. Adams, who has been trouble all year long handling the football, fumbles the ball near the 10-yard line. And out comes Phil Simms for his first opportunity tonight. Thus far in the year, Phil Simms, third rated in the NFC after 10 games, behind McMahon and Montana. Thrown 12 interceptions. He has 14 touchdowns. If there is one thing to fault about Phil Simms, it's his competitiveness. He will hang in there, try to win almost on every play himself. On first down, this is Morris, and he is backed up. Rafael Seri starting for Tony Peters, a strong safety tonight, was up there initially to make the contact. And there is a loss of a couple of yards on that. As we look at the defensive unit, Neil Okowitz in the middle is trying to go tonight. He has a severely bruised chest, and some of the inflammation has gone down into his right arm. Now he has come out of the lineup, so Monty Coleman moves over to take the place of Rich Malott on the outside. Malott goes to the middle linebacking spot. Malott wears number 57. Morris finds a little bit of a gap and gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but it'll be third down and 10. The Giants deep in their own territory.
All right, Joe. Thought I didn't like the pass he underthrew, and I know he didn't like it, but he sure didn't make amends.
Well, actually, this game has started off somewhat typically for these teams. The Giants have been, the Redskins have been the best team in football on opening drives this year. On their 10 previous opening drives, they have 4 touchdowns and 3 field goals.
Number 30, Tony Galbraith, is in the lineup. Giants use Galbraith like the Redskins use Keith Griffin as a receiver out of the backfield. It's third and 10, and Simms will be sacked. Was he hit in the end zone and taken into the end zone? There still is no indication of the safety. He was hit about the 2-yard line. And we told you it was a bitter rivalry, and both benches are empty. We still have not received an official indication. Simms was hit about the 2-yard line, driven into the end zone. The Redskins took the football out of his hands. It'll be fourth down near the 1-yard line. That's where they mark it. It was Mel Kaufman on the blitz who got to Simms first. But Sean Landetta, who has kicked well for the Giants this year, with a 45-yard average, hangs it up for Ken Jenkins, who takes it at the 39-yard line. And so the Redskins will have great field position once again. They'll be at the Giants' 30-yard line. A 39-yard hurry punt by Landetta. Jenkins brings back another 10 yards. And now Joe Theisman comes onto the field as his counterpart on the sideline, Phil Simms, is wondering what happened. I knew we had him picked up.
You know, football's a game of emotions, and right now it looks like the Redskins are out after this game. It looks like they want it worse than the Giants.
First and 10, the Redskins. Reagan trying to work the middle. And perhaps 2 yards. It'll be second down and 8. Theisman, again, he has been really attacked, both on the streets and by the media. In 83, he was second rated in the NFL. 97% was his rating. He had 29 touchdowns last year. He went to 24 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. This year he's passing at 55%, 7 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. He looks over a second and 8. Riggins on a funny-looking little draw that did not fool Leonard Marshall. And Riggins has dropped back at the original line of scrimmage, the 30-yard line. It'll be third and 10.
Well, those type of plays are designed to take advantage of the quick pursuing tendencies of a guy like a Leonard Marshall and a Lawrence Taylor. They tried to make the play appear to go the other way, hoping those guys would pursue and they would counter with Riggins coming back, but those guys stayed at home and played their positions the way they were taught to play.
Okay, I just saw Griffin come on the field. What this Washington team really misses is Joe Washington.
And of course, they use Griffin as they use Joe Washington over the past few years. He's now in Atlanta. Theisman in trouble. Theisman will go down, and that is the 13th and a half sack by Leonard Marshall, the NFL leader in that department who had not had a sack over the past 3 games. And what that sack did is move Mark Mosley out of field goal position.
Well, I hate to see that. You don't expect that from a veteran quarterback, but Joe Theisman's trying to win so badly right now. He's trying to make things happen. That time he made a very bad play. Should have thrown the ball away.
Steve Cox is on to do the punting, and here is Phil McConkey. Young in NFL years, but he had to serve 4 years after graduating from the Naval Academy before joining the Giants as a free agent in '83, and then the Navy recalled him for another year, so he actually was a rookie a year ago. He's back for the Giants. High kick. McConkey will let go into the end zone by a wide margin, and I know that Steve Cox did not like that one. He wanted to hang it somewhere inside the 10, get the coverage, so the Giants had a bit of a breather. They have a 1st and 10 at their 20. Tonight, and unless you've been circling the moon, you know the people who live here. The President, Mrs. Reagan, are in Geneva, where the talks will begin tomorrow. Meanwhile, at RFK Stadium, 4:34 remaining in the first quarter. The Redskins leading the Giants 7-0. The Giants 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Bill Sims trying to get deep. Williams, and a flag goes down. Williams representing the speed of the Giants, working against Vernon Dean, and has drawn the flag.
You know, if they say this is a judgment call, the receiver can either get to the ball or not get to it. Hey, I don't see how they could call this a penalty. That ball was way over his head.
Fred Wyant.
False interference, number 32, first down.
Apparently, the official did not think so. Vernon Dean is called. Top of your screen is Byron Williams. He is the speed on the outside for the Giants. And the contact made. The flag flies. The Giants have a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
What set that last play up was the all-out blitz Washington came with. They did it in the first series of downs, and they did it this last down on 1st down.
Again, good pickup on the part of the Giants backs who were in. Morris. Big open goal. Morris is gone. Joe Morris. 55-yard touchdown sprint over the left side. And one has to wonder whether the trouble linebacking core, Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, suffering from a very severely bruised chest. They've been forced to change positions with Malott and Monty Coleman. Let's look at it again. The first time the Giants have scored a touchdown in the first quarter this season, and the first time the Redskins have allowed one in this season. And suddenly, this game is 1 point from being tied. Joe Morris off on a big year. Eric Schubert ties it up at 7 as Joe Morris explodes for 55 yards and a Giant touchdown. The former Syracuse star.
85, when Washington hosted St. Louis, Redskins John Riggins and George Rogers each rushed for 100 yards. It was the first time in the franchise's 54-year history that 2 Redskins each gained 100 yards rushing.
Took the Redskins 54 years to get a couple of backs could rush for 100 yards in the game. They did it a second time only 4 weeks ago against Atlanta. Keith Griffin and George Rogers both going over 100 yards in a big day against Atlanta. Schubert kicks off. Ken Jenkins is back, and this is what they like about Schubert. He keeps Jenkins deep in the end zone, so the Redskins will have to settle for the 20-yard line. There is Joe Morris. Interesting stat, hard to believe, really. He is the first Giants running back this season to have a run of 20 yards or more. Phil Simms had a couple of them, but not a Giant running back has been able to negotiate more than 20 yards.
And they've been looking for that type of runner. They started him after 8 games last year, and he's really been getting the job done. May be the first Giant runner to go over 1,000 yards since Ron Johnson, and that's some 12, 13 years ago.
George Rogers is the running back now, the setback for the Washington Redskins on 1st and 10. Theisman in and out of the hands of Didier. Didier, ordinarily very sure-handed. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Saturday, CFA College Football presents one of the nation's classic rivalries, and it really is, when the second-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers with the country's #1 rushing attack get it on with the Big 8 powerhouse, third-ranked Oklahoma. Now, they have the nation's best defense. CFA coverage begins live at 3 o'clock Eastern with college football today, Saturday, right here on ABC. Nebraska averaging over 395 yards on offense. Good game coming here Saturday. 2nd and 10. Theisman looks for Monk. He's not open. Looks over the middle of the tight end, Didier. He overthrows Didier by at least 3 or 4 yards. He wanted to go to Monk. Monk was well covered by Perry Williams. He checked off to Didier and overthrew by a wide margin.
That was a good read by Joe, but it was a bad pass.
It's interesting looking at the Redskins right now, Joe. You said they came out, they seemed like the team that was fired up. One score by the Giants, and they appear to be somewhat flat.
Theisman, 6 of 9, 43 yards. He has the 1 touchdown. He looks over at 3rd and 10. Theisman hailed at the line of scrimmage. Jerome Sally makes the stop for the Giants. And again, the Bluebirds are with us. And it did appear as though Joe Theisman had Don Warren open for what could have been a 1st down.
Not only did it appear that Warren was open, it looked as if Joe was looking right at him. I was surprised he didn't throw to him.
They had good protection that time, but there's a good chance he didn't see him.
Steve Cox to punt. Bill McConkey is in a good position to give the Giants good field position again. He's at his own 35. Cox hangs it up. McConkey steps up to the 37. And McConkey out to the 44-yard line. So the Giants will have a 1st and 10. We're tied at 7 with 3:25 remaining in the 1st quarter. Texas 4, and of course the 49ers with a Los Angeles Ram loss yesterday are right back in it. 1st and 10 Giants. Sims gets it off as he was going down. He was hit by Dexter Manley. He gets it off to Morris, and they could have called Sims in the arms of Dexter Manley, and they're going to bring that one back. That rule, of course, put in a couple of years ago to protect the quarterbacks. And a big, strong quarterback like Phil Sims sometimes will get that pass off. It's also one of the reasons that he has fumbled 12 times this year. He'll just stand right in there. Watch 72.
Yeah, and talking with Coach Parcells today, that's exactly what he said. Phil's such a competitor, and he wants to make the play work. He'll look downfield and hold on to the ball a long time. That led to some fumbles.
2nd and 19. Joe Morris, left side. Gain of a yard, perhaps 2. It'll be 3rd in long yardage. Okowitz in and out of the game. Long yardage now for the Giants. The last time they had 3rd and long, deep in their own territory, the Redskins brought a full blitz on them, and they were able to sack Phil Sims at the 1-yard line. Capacity crowd getting into it. Down goes Sims again, and again it's Mel Kaufman. He was the one who sacked Sims earlier back at the 1-yard line. The 2nd sack now for Mel Kaufman. And the Giants bring on the punter, John Landetta. Watch 55. Nobody took a good shot at him. Stepping up, trying to make the block was Tony Galbraith. Not a good block, and Kaufman just kind of was surprised, I believe, that he wasn't blocked better than that.
Yeah, Kaufman's moving around that defensive line. But I was really surprised at Tony Galbraith's effort there. That was a sloppy-looking block attempt.
Landetta with a beautiful punt, a towering, booming punt that forced the fair catch by Jenkins all the way back at the 23-yard line. That was a 50-yard effort, and Jenkins had no chance whatsoever. He looked at it as the ball peeked out and gave the fair catch sign right then.
I agree with you, Joe, on that effort by Tony Galbert. Normally, a back is trying to block some guy who is 10, 20 pounds heavier than they are. In this case, Galbert weighs about 10 pounds more than Kaufman. Historically, he's been a good blocker.
He touched his head that time, and that's why he missed him.
On first down, George Rogers flipped outside, turned back inside, works to the 28-yard line, the gain of about 5 before he's hit by Leonard Marshall. It'll be second down and 5, Redskins. George Rogers, of course, Theisman Award winner back in 1980 at South Carolina, traded by Bum Phillips, and he decided to go full-time with Earl Campbell this season. Second and 5. Underneath the Smuck, and taken from behind by Gary Reason. But he has the first down at the 35-yard line. We're tied at 7 with 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. In a game that the Redskins have admitted they feel they must win if they are going to have playoff hope this year. They could back in as a wild card, but divisional hopes would be pretty much dissipated if they lose tonight. They would fall 3 games back of the Giants in the Eastern Division of the NFC. On first and 10. Theisman again with a lot of time, but no receiver. Has one right in front of him. And chased out of bounds. Up near first down yardage by Carl Banks.
Now, Joe, you got to tell me, does that mean he's not focusing? I know when I got a little older as a quarterback, and I don't want to harp on his age, but you reach a point as a runner where you see what you want to do, but you just can't get there. Now, what's it with a quarterback?
Well, that time with Joe, I don't know what his problem was. He had a receiver open on this side and a receiver on the other side. I mentioned the last series that obviously he didn't see the open receiver. That's exactly what happened here. Why he didn't see him, I don't know.
Didier was wide open for the first down. And he was right in the path of Joe Theisman. Joe decided to run. He came up a yard short of the first down. It's second down and 1. Upended is George Rogers. He should have the first down, depending upon the mark. Curtis Grip came underneath George Rogers.
But by the way, that's the most booing I've heard for a 9-yard gain in a long time. That run of Joe Theisman.
They mark it inside the 45-yard line. That mark draws the attention of the crowd, but it's short of the first down by about a foot. And the Redskins will not get a playoff before the first quarter expires. After 1, it's a beautiful city, and certainly a beautiful city on a night like tonight when it's so clear. And from a camera we have located in the Washington Monument, this is the Jefferson Memorial. Again, almost Indian summer weather here mid-November. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Pontiac, America's road car company. Pontiac, we build excitement. We begin the second quarter. The Redskins with the third down and short, about a foot to go for the first, near their own 45-yard line. And we are tied at 7, the Giants and the Redskins. Riggins. An extra effort will get the first down for Riggins. He was hit short of the first down, and he surges out over the 45 for a Redskins first down.
And if it wasn't for John's ability to get those key third downs, 4 first downs like that in short yardage, I think he's as good as anybody who's ever played this game doing it. He and Larry Zonka are the best 2 that I've ever seen. I don't think that they would, be playing him so much.
Riggins, of course, now 4th all-time in rushing in the NFL. Sorry about that, O.J. Passed you last Sunday. The move behind Peyton, Jim Brown, and Franco Harris. First and 10. Riggins, Flea Flicker, back to Theisman. Theisman's in a lot of trouble. And it was Lawrence Taylor who slammed Theisman to the ground at the 42-yard line. The blitz was on. That's not necessarily a good play to have called. And quickly, Lawrence Taylor was up saying Theisman is hurt. And I don't believe Lawrence Taylor would have reacted that way unless Theisman is really hurt. He slammed him to the natural surface here. The blitz was on. That is not a good call to have with the blitz on. Theisman had no chance at all to get downfield with it. Let's take a look at with our reverse angle camera. He's looking deep, but he knows he's in trouble. Lawrence Taylor, number 56, right there. Carson is number 53. But it's Taylor over Carson, slamming. And you see the right knee, the right foot.
That's the ankle.
And I knew that something was really bad when Lawrence Taylor leaped.
For weights on ABC's Monday Night Football.
We will not speculate on the extent of the injury to Joe Theisman until we get the definitive word. While we were away at the commercial, we took a close shot as they looked at Joe Theisman. There was blood on the right shin bone. And again, we'll look at it with the reverse angle one more time. And I suggest if your stomach is weak, you just don't watch. Number 56 is Lawrence Taylor. He makes the sack. And Theisman's right leg, unfortunately, was caught under Lawrence Taylor. And I'm sure that the word will be coming up very shortly that Theisman's season is over. And hopefully the injury will not be as severe as we think it probably is. Immediately after Taylor made the sack, he leaped to his feet, beckoned quickly over to the Redskins bench, and here he is. No football player likes to have that happen, particularly Lawrence Taylor. He plays this game as clean as anyone can play it. He is visibly upset. That's the nature of this game. It does happen.
It's interesting. No matter what you feel about a player, I saw Coach Parcells come out on the field when you see a competitor like Joe Theisman injured, especially this severely. I don't think anyone feels good about it.
Say what they want about Joe Theisman. I've seen Joe Theisman take a timeout after having his teeth knocked out against the Giants, come back in, finish the game, and put on one of the great performances I've ever seen. Over his career, 12 with the Redskins, 4 up in the Canadian Football Leagues, a near Heisman Award winner at Notre Dame. Joe Theisman has been one of the gutsy players ever to play this game, and you can see Lawrence Taylor visibly upset. Again, only speculation, but I have a feeling Lawrence Taylor heard the snap of the bone in Theisman's right leg. All three of us have been out there. We have heard it. And it is a sickening part of this game. We will get the definitive word from the medical staff of the Washington Redskins. And you look once again at Joe Theisman. Right now, one would have to speculate a little bit in shock. And being ever so careful. Joe, oddly enough, is one of the most durable players ever to play this game. He came to the Redskins back in '74 after the Redskins acquired his rights from Miami, trading a number 1 draft pick. George Allen did that. He couldn't take the job away from Sonny Jurgensen and then Bill Kilmer, so he demanded that he play, and he wound up returning punts until he became a starter back in 1978. They were booing a short while ago, and now there's an ovation for Joe Theisman, who I'm sure has played his last play of the 1985 season.
Joe's given him a lot of great games here in Washington and around this country. I just hope it's not his last play in football.
There is no going to the locker room. I'm quite certain that Joe Theisman will be taken to an ambulance, taken to a nearby hospital, and we'll have the report as quickly as we can get it to you. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, tied with the Giants at 7, early going in the second quarter, they bring in Jay Schrader, second-year man out of UCLA, third-round draft pick a year ago, played not a play last year, has seen little action this year. He's 4 of 8, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. He was a great baseball player and a great athlete at UCLA. He hands off to Keith Griffin, and Griffin nailed at the line of scrimmage, gets up for a gain of a couple of the 3rd down and 12, and our camera on the outside gives you another view of Joe Theisman.
You know, talking about Jay Schrader now, he's in there, and he's going to have a tough time tonight. A backup quarterback in the NFL doesn't get much practice time during the week, so he's going to be rusty. He's not going to be on top of his game.
3rd down and a long 12. Schrader is wide open. And Monk inside the 15-yard line on a beautiful shot from Jay Schrader. And that is one way to get the Giants' attention.
Hey, I want to see him when he really gets on top of the game.
43-yard pickup, the Giants. And I was surprised they didn't blitz right away. When you get a youngster in there, you usually bring everybody. They didn't. And Schrader put one right on the money to Art Monk.
I agree with you, Frank. They should have been trying to put the pressure on you. Herb Welch, who was playing safety that time, simply didn't get to that side of the field fast enough. It was his own coverage, and Monk got in between the two defenders.
Giants defensive team wondering, who is this masked man? Have a first down. Near the 13-yard line of the Giants. Giants dropped into an odd man line. The handoff to Rogers. And that's Byron Hunt pursuing Rogers to the outside, and a flag goes down. There could have been a late hit. Or a face mask. Byron Hunt complaining bitterly.
Well, it's amazing just what one pass completion can do for a football team or for an individual. Schrader right now has confidence that he didn't have when he went onto that football field.
Let's take a look at it. Byron Hunt is flagged for a face mask. Hunt number 57. That's Rogers trying to get outside.
Well, it was a play designed to go inside, but the guard blocked one of the linebackers outside, and it's definitely a face mask penalty.
Hard to understand why he was complaining.
It just went right after the mask.
Not a flagrant violation, so the advance is 5 yards. The down remains the same, so it's 1st and 5. The ball is near the 8-yard line. Rogers bangs inside the 5-yard line to the 4-yard line. Looks to be short of the first down.
The guys are going after each other down on the football field. It's figured to be a physical game. You got to realize the Washington game plan of running the ball is to wear down the opponent and take advantage of beating them up, softening them up for later in the football game. Well, meanwhile, what is typically of this Giants is that they'll wear you down. They got some huge linebackers, and they just beat on you, and normally they're the team that will have the best of it in the second half.
Arguably the best linebackers in football, Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson, both Pro Bowlers for many times. Gary Reasons doesn't give up too much. Where does Byron Hunt? For Carl Banks, his second down and a yard. Riggins. He will not get the first down. He's hit. And at the 5-yard line.
That was really good backside pursuit by Jim Burt, the nose tackle. He's the first one that got his arms around John. Of course, John ran into a stone wall after that.
He lost yardage, and the Redskins are looking at a third down and almost 2 yards.
Oh, Jim Burt.
Jim Burt in there in the short yardage. Those down linemen playing in the gap. They'll be submarining in there looking for Riggins. No, he will not get the first. Ball is loose. And the whistle had not blown, and the Giants cover it. Lawrence Taylor is on the football. Riggins went into the pile. The ball came squirting out. And Sir Lawrence gets the recovery on Riggins' second fumble of the year.
And his first one was here on Monday Night Football against St. Louis.
Riggins hit right short of the line of scrimmage. Ball is loose. There he is. For the Redskins. Cough up a golden opportunity. We're tied at 7. 10:42 remaining in the first half. On first down. That's Carpenter. He's in there because he's very sure-handed. He has not fumbled in the last 80 handles. He's not fumbled this season. There's Lawrence Taylor. I'm sure still upset over what had to be an accident to Joe Theisman.
You know, sometimes when the second string quarterback or the backup quarterback comes into the game, you may have a mishandled handoff. But to me, that last time John Riggins had control of that ball when he went into the line, O.J., he just didn't put it away.
Well, he was hitting the backfield and he was trying to stretch, I believe, for the first down and may have stuck the ball out.
Carpenter again. Gallops out over the 10-yard line. He's close to first down yardage near the 13-yard line. As Charles Mann is there defensively for the Redskins, and Carpenter on a couple of carries gets the Giants out from the shadow of their own goalpost, and they have a first down.
It was interesting watching the Redskins on the sideline. Once Carpenter broke through there, they all left the sidelines and went to the bench. Nothing is more demoralizing to a team when you have a team backed up and let them run right up the middle for a first down.
Bill Parcells looking on. Giants have won 4 in a row. Morris, good block from Carpenter, and Morris is out over the 20-yard line. Got a tremendous block from Carpenter, and turns back in and collides with Malott, but not until he picks up about 7.
Joe Morris is having a super year for him. He's a little over 700 yards right now, and as I stated before, the Giant record is 1,182 yards, and he's right on beam to break that single-season rushing record.
2nd and 3, and that was Rob Carpenter again, and he will have another first down out near the 24-yard line. Giants recovered the fumble near their own 3-yard line. 2nd consecutive first down, and Rob Carpenter has provided much of it. Carpenter only 108 yards coming into tonight, as Joe Morris has been handling most of the road work for the Giants this season. Morris tonight 66 yards already on 5 carries. And of course he had that 56-yard touchdown run. Down goes Morris. He was just buried in the backfield. Coming across the line of scrimmage, Dean Hamill, the rookie from Tulsa. And the loss was back near the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 14. This is a down that Bill Parcells told us he anticipates the Redskins will come with the major blitz. The 2nd and long yardage. Bill Sims deploys Bobby Johnson to the left, Lionel Manuel to the right. Giants looking for blitz, tried to go with the draw. Morris was buried by Dexter Manley at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 14, and we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
Channel 4, WTAE-TV, Pittsburgh.
Frank Gifford, Joe Namath, O.J. Simpson. We're tied at 7 midway to the 2nd period. The Giants and the Redskins. The Giants are looking over 3rd down and 14, and Phil Simms, the quarterback for the Giants, will move from the shotgun. Meanwhile, the Redskins quarterback, Joe Theisman, has been taken to the hospital. We'll talk about that injury as soon as we get further word. As Tony Galbraith gallops for about 8 yards up near the 30-yard line, far short of the first down, and out come the Giants kicking unit.
Somewhat conservative call for the Giants on 3rd down, needing about 14 yards, but that's the way they're going to play this game. When you have the type of defense that they have, number 1 in the NFC here, all you want to do is not make mistakes.
Landetta on for the Giants. Ken Jenkins is back. Landetta's last punt was a 50-yard beauty. He's hammered another one. This time Jenkins will have time to attempt the return, and he bobbles it and has to cover at the 24-yard line. A 49-yard punt this time by Landetta. Hard-hitting football game. It tempers Flair once again. And once again, players are separated on the field. We'll be 20 to go here in the first half. Sims is 0 for 0 for 0. He had 1 completion. They brought it back on a penalty. He's been sacked 3 times. Jay Strader leading the Redskins now from their 23-yard line. And this is George Rogers. Rogers with first down yardage, or very close to it, at the 34-yard line, taken out of bounds by Terry Kennard. And the word is from the Redskins press people is that Charlie Taylor, he is their PR man, has told us that Joe Theisman on the way to the hospital, preliminary examination, it is a compound fracture of the leg. Well, if you're not with us earlier, Joe Theisman, tackled by Lawrence Taylor as he was attempting to deliver the ball, has suffered a compound fracture of the leg. Rogers gets the first down, 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Rogers over to 35, to the 37, a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
somehow I get the feeling that Washington's playing a little more conservatively with Schrader in the game than they did with Joe.
Well, judging by that first pass that Schrader threw, I don't think they really have to be conservative with this kid. He has quite an arm. But it is smart that they got George Rogers in the game because he does have the ability to break it. Normally when they have Riggins in the game, they're trying to wear you down. You're not going to wear this Giant defensive team down.
Second down and 7. Schrader, third-round pick of a year ago from UCLA, only played 2 years at UCLA. He went into minor league baseball. As we see the ball bobbled by Rogers, who quickly covers it. It'll be third down and long, but Schrader signed a baseball contract with Toronto. Played in the Carolina League down there where he had the opportunity to try to bat against Dwight Gooden, the Cy Young Award winner for the Mets this year. And as Jay has put it, it helped both of our careers. It got me back in football, and it helped Dwight Gooden move on to realize his potential with the Mets. He's not really that experienced even in college.
No, and he's rusty. That last handoff is an example of the rust. He faked the handoff and was late getting the ball back to the ball carrier. So I was fumbled.
Third down and 7. Schrader gets away from Martin. And Schrader gets the first down. And Schrader, like Theisman, has mobility. And perhaps at a younger age, even more so. And he gets the first down for the Redskins, getting away from George Martin, a very agile pass rusher for the Giants.
So I think that comes from playing with Theisman, because you would have taken that 10 off his jersey and put a 7 on his jersey, he would have looked like a young Theisman then.
That's right. But most of the young fellas do find out that in the NFL, the quarterback should not be running the football. At least they won't run it for long. We
Word
saw some great
from the wise.
Yeah, we saw some great ones with Terry Bradshaw and Roger Staubach, and even those gentlemen, toward the end of their careers especially, stopped carrying it upfield.
Wouldn't Mike get you, like Jim McMahon, to ease off it a little bit. First and 10 Redskins. We're tied at 7. As Schrader goes to Art Monk once again. He gets the completion, but for only about a 3-yard pickup, close to the 48-yard line. Kenny Hill was there defensively for the Giants.
Schrader didn't put enough heat on that ball. It didn't get out there quickly enough. That's why it was such a short gain. Had he gotten some more heat on it, got the ball out there more quickly, it would have gained more yardage.
This is Jim McMahon of the Bears. They didn't need him yesterday. We're going to take a look at some of the action from the shutout of the Bears with the Cowboys yesterday. And Dick Schaap is going to go down memory lane in the rivalry that has existed over the years between the Giants and the Redskins. Second down and 6. Schrader, a little nervous, a little antsy, stays in there and throws it behind Monk.
And a lot rusty, too. I keep saying that, but I promise you, these NFL quarterbacks, the backup fellas, really don't get a chance to work that much during the course of a week.
Well, you know, we made that point early in the season when this Redskin team was getting waxed, I think, by the Cowboys, that we wondered why Theisman was still in the game late in the game and why they wouldn't put a kid like Schrader in the game to get some experience then, and I think they're paying the price for that now.
That's right. Third down and 6. Schrader overthrows Art Monk, who was well covered. He tried to get it in. Monk had drawn double coverage. Patterson was back there, as was Herb Welch.
No question, he has a strong arm.
Good size at 6'4" and 214, and a strong arm. The mental part of this game is so vital, so important.
That ovation was for Schrader when he came off the field. As we look at Steve Cox on to do the punting, and deep is Phil McConkey for the Giants. Cox had been with Cleveland 4 years before the Redskins picked him up this season when they lost Jeff Hayes early in the season. Doesn't turn over, and McConkey makes the fair catch near the Giants' 17-yard line. 3:45 remaining in the first half. Phil Simms, Phil to complete his first pass on the night. We'll be back showing you some very appropriate shots tonight with the talks that will affect perhaps our lives for generations beginning tomorrow in Geneva. And this is a look at the Lincoln Memorial from our camera. It is located at the Washington Monument. Meanwhile, 3:45 remaining in the first half. The Giants and the Redskins are tied at 7. The Giants have a 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Phil Simms trying to get it to Byron Williams, and he was tripped up by Darrell Green. They were both playing the football, no flags. And Phil Simms is still looking for that first completion of the night. He's been sacked 3 times, but if you're going to use your speed, you're going to use it against Darrell Green, perhaps one of the fastest men in pro football today. That time you see their legs getting entangled, and down goes both players.
Well, I guess they claim that Darrell Green was looking back. It's a smart move. I guess anytime you want to pass interfere, the best thing to do is look back and throw your arm into the guy.
Yeah. That looked like interference all the way there. That would have been a tough flag, but it certainly could have drawn one. And for the Giants, it's 2nd down and 10. Simms coming back again. And this time a great catch by Lionel Manuel. The Giants' leading receiver in only his 2nd year, a free agent a year ago out of Pacific, and he comes down with a circus catch at the 42-yard line of the Redskins. This is a great catch. Again, working against Darrell Green. Green thought he had the interception. Look at that. One-hands it, concentrates, spins his body so he doesn't land on the football, and he makes the completion.
Bill Parcells was saying that today he's a very quick kid. He's good down around the goal line, but he didn't read defenses well. This year he reads the coverage well, and consequently he's been very effective.
On 1st down, Joe Morris. Joe Morris hit behind the line of scrimmage. Raphael Cherry, the rookie out of Hawaii, fighting off the block as Carpenter made a superb play. This is, by the way, the Redskins' backup quarterback now. That's Raphael Cherry. He was a quarterback at the University of Hawaii and a good one, a good athlete. He scrambled for a lot of yardage over there. But he would be the emergency quarterback should anything happen to the one they're using right now. That, of course, being Jay Schrader. 2nd down and 11. Flags are down. The Redskins across the line of scrimmage. Phil Simms has a cheap one. And he gets it to Lionel Manuel, who has 1st down yardage. Darrell Green made the hit on Lionel Manuel, but the Redskins are saying they were drawn offside. I think Joe Morrison may have started a little early. Joe Morris, I believe, was the Giant who moved forward, moved downfield, and as quickly as he did, Rich Malott turned upfield with him. Or Monty Coleman. Monty Coleman was across the line of scrimmage, but Joe Morris had already turned upfield. So it's walked off against the Giants with 2:09, and the Giants will be hard-pressed to get another playoff before the 2-minute warning. Giants have 3 timeouts. The Redskins have a pair. And they will not get this playoff. So the Giants have a 2nd down and 16. The ball at the Redskins, 47-yard line. We'll be back. Played in a few interesting games right here against the Redskins. Boy, during the 70s, under George Allen, they really dominated the Giants. That's when the Giants fans declared it a major rivalry, and the Redskins didn't even know it, I don't think. 2nd down and 16 for the Giants. Phil Simms gets the shot to Manuel, far short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and about 12. Giants in no big hurry, even though the clock is ticking down close to 1:40. They have 3 timeouts. Tony Galbraith comes in along with George Adams. Now, they are both good receivers for the Giants out of the backfield. Adams, the rookie from Kentucky, number 33. Galbraith, number 30. Bristol Slough, contact was made. Dexter Manley was pursuing Phil Simms.
That old Phil, he's showing his smarts. He just kept on getting out of there. Good move, Phil.
Get it on down the road.
False start, number 65.
Pretty difficult for the center to have a false start.
Well, he's had problems working with Phil Simms this year. We saw the fumble exchange when the Giants had the Cowboys beaten up in New York earlier in the year. They've had several of them, but we mentioned it to Bill Parcells today, and he glanced and said, don't bring it up. We've been doing fine for a few weeks.
But how can you have the ball and false start.
I tell you, as a quarterback, I used to worry. We'd go to the line of scrimmage, and sometimes my man John Schmidt would turn around and say, "What's the count, Joe?" I said, "Oh my goodness."
And you had forgotten.
Yeah, right.
3rd and 17. And now the Giants will call timeout. They're down to 119. And Phil Simms will move over to the sideline. That night, hard-hitting football game. In case you weren't with us earlier, Joe Theisman, compound fracture of the leg, was taken to a hospital. His season most certainly ended, and you have to speculate about the future. He's 36 years old. A very severe injury. As on the sidelines, Phil Simms talking strategy. And in the middle of it, Bill Parcells.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Joe Theisman play. It was against our old school, Frank, USC. And I think he threw, on a rainy day, he threw for over 500 yards.
And, of course, that's just great years over the past 3 years. As we look at Jay Schrader on the spot now out of UCLA, where he only played a couple of years and only started a few games out there. In the nation's capital tonight, and in a week from tonight, will be in the city by the Golden Gate. O.J. Simpson's last spot, his birthplace. And we'll be watching the 49ers very much alive in that Western Division of the NFC, going against the Seattle Seahawks, very much alive in the AFC Western Division. Giants have 2 timeouts. They have a 3rd down and 17 at the Redskins' 48-yard line. Phil Simms steps inside the blitz. A nail at the 40-yard line by Dexter Manley and Mel Crofton. And beyond field goal range of Eric Schubert. So out comes Sean Landetta.
Well, they ought to take a 5-yard penalty here and use up most of the clock before they punt.
Oh, I'm sure they're doing just that. Landetta is just going to let the 30-second clock tick down. He doesn't care whether he has 5 yards or not because he will be kicking in close in any event. The crowd isn't liking it, but they're not understanding the strategy. Landetta lets it all tick off that 30-second clock. They'll move the Giants back 5 yards, but meanwhile, 30 seconds has ticked off the clock, and the Redskins will have 32 seconds with which to work. And they have also wasted a timeout, so they only have 2 timeouts remaining. Delay a game called against the Giants. The Redskins declined the penalty. They would just as soon Landetta maybe kick it a little too far if he goes for the high kick and put it into the end zone, and they'll get it on the 20.
Yeah, but with Schrader in the game, I don't look for Washington to be trying any fancy stuff at this point.
Nor do I, unless they should get a good return. This is Jenkins, and he is up into the 20-yard line. 24 seconds remaining in the half, and another fight breaks out on the field.
Oh, this is getting silly. That's really a lack of discipline. That's sloppy.
The Giants have not won here since 1981. Prior to that, they had not won all the way back to 1971. Frustrating years here in the nation's capital. The Giants, however, have won the last 2 games, both at Giant Stadium. They won earlier this year, 4 weeks ago, 17-3, and they won at home a year ago. Again, a reminder, Dick Schaap, with a look at some of the memorable games that took place in this long-running series at halftime, and of course our highlight features. Jay Schrader kills the and it did. The Giants front line was dropping back to form a wedge. The ball just dribbled the 10 yards and was quickly covered. And the Redskins, who have faked a punt on 4th down, get the ball back. Barry Wilburn, the rookie from Mississippi. Now the Giants are dropping back to block for the kickoff. They don't even see this. And they wait until it goes 10 yards, and they make the recovery. The Redskins have the ball here in the start of the second half. Jay Schrader. Art Monk is open. A diving catch by Art Monk. Down close to the 3-yard line, and Jay Schrader hits Art Monk with a big bomb once again.
That's the same play they turned the Giants secondary on in the first series, the very first pass that Slater threw. He simply runs a fly pattern down the sideline, and the safety on the inside doesn't get to that side of the field. He throws a strike, too. A beautifully thrown pass.
It was zone coverage. Patterson was back there, but he was way off. One would begin to wonder when Mark Haynes, the three-time Pro Bowler, who held out much of the season but came back several weeks ago, is going to get back into this Giants lineup at cornerback. Patterson has played well, but he could have played that much better. First down, goal to go. Play action by Schrader. Schrader tries to dive under a giant tackler, Harry Carson. He does that, but he could have been joining Theisman. He could have got a tremendous shot, but he is a good athlete.
It really surprised me almost as much as the New York Giants kick return team was that onside kick. Yesterday, Coach Schull and the Miami Dolphins pulled the same thing against Indianapolis and recovered it. I'm surprised the Giants got caught napping.
And even more surprised that Jay Schrader didn't throw it away. He is the last viable Redskin quarterback. Second down, goal to go. Reagan hit behind the line of scrimmage. Byron Hunt made sure he did not get in. And it was close.
Schrader
Second block for Schrader.
Schrader trips coming out from under the center. Joe, you mentioned this about their center, even though this was the guard.
Jeff Bostic stepped on his foot.
Yeah, there is another good example of his athletic ability. We've seen him run a couple times tonight. And we've seen him on target to Art Monk. The Redskins now. Third down, goal to go. They've marked it at the 1-yard line.
John Riggins did a tremendous job holding on to the football that last play. It was all the way down to his knees.
Plus, he was hit in the backfield.
Yep.
Third and 1. Big opening. And Big John Riggins pulls it in. The Redskins have the lead again. Watch him again. They like to do this with Joe Jacoby over there, O.J., but he's not in the game tonight.
Well, they did a good job over there, especially Jeff Bostic, who was normally a center. He did a little loop around there, and he made a very nice block, and all Riggins had to do is stay true to the hole.
Mosley routines it through. And the Redskins, with an onside kick to open the second half, have taken it in. They lead the Giants 14-7. I won't ask you, Joe, if there's any one of those four you recognize.
Hey, I did have a few shaky dates earlier in my life, but I promise you, I don't believe I was out with any of them.
The crowd of their title, the Hawks, here in the nation's capital. They have the lead back. Steve Cox drills one deep into the end zone. George Adams settled for the touchback, and the Giants will have a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, and the Redskins crowd is really aroused. There is Schroeder, or Jay Schrader. Spelled Schroeder, but pronounced Schrader. Third-round draft pick of a year ago. Played only a couple of years at UCLA. Brought off the bench tonight when Joe Theisman was taken to the hospital with a compound fracture of the right leg. Bill Sims struggled through the first half. Morris is hit before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Neil Olkowitz playing with a very sore chest. The fluid from a deep bruise in the chest has gone down the right arm, and it was questionable whether or not he would go tonight. But he's been in there, and they need him in middle linebacker because when they don't have him, they take Rich Milan away from the weak side, put him in middle linebacker, and they bring in Monty Coleman. Second down and 9. Sims gets the ball to Morris underneath, and he's held short of the first down to the 28. It'll be third down and 3. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first quarter, and then we will wipe them out and give you the first half stats. Passing yardage, minus 28. That was because of 3 sacks of Phil Sims. Now we'll take a look at the halftime numbers. Did not improve all that dramatically. But we were tied at the half, and then the Redskins, with that onside kick, they took it all the way down the field, and they now lead 14-7. Third down and a long two. Blitz is on Sims. He gets it out there to Galbraith. Galbraith is piled up at the 30-yard line. It'll be close to the first down, and Galbraith, I think, on the surge, will have a Giants first down. Galbraith, the all-time leading receiver out of the backfield with his 418th reception, but he's going to have to watch Walter Payton. Payton now has 410.
This last play, Washington came with an all-out blitz, and Charles Mann, who plays a defensive end position, normally isn't in the pass coverage, but that was his assignment that last play, and he did a good job. However, the Giants did pick up the first down.
Giants, by the way, had 109 yards of offense. That's the least they've been able to work in a first half thus far this season, dating back to Green Bay, when they had 129 in their first half, and I think O.J. touched on it earlier. They just don't play that well on the natural surface. First and 10, and wide open is the tight end, Bavaro, the rookie from Notre Dame, and he rumbles all the way down to the Redskins 42.
Well, they're beginning to play better on natural grass. It's strange, though, when you think about it. In the last 13 games that they've played, only one have been on natural grass, and that's the game they had 129 yards in the first half, and incidentally lost it to Green Bay, as we see just a quick out by Bavaro. Evidently, Joe, it must have been some missed coverage, because no one was out there with him.
That was a missed coverage. You know, a couple of weeks ago, Bavaro caught 12 passes to tie an all-time Giant record. The first player that ever caught 12 passes for the Giants was one Frank Gifford back in 1957.
On first and 10, Morris coming over the field, and he's gone again, maybe. Bernardine is pursuing, and he will not get Morris, who went 56 yards in the first half. This time he goes 41 yards, and the Giants are within one of tying it once again. Deja vu in the first half. The Redskins took a 7-0 lead. Morris erupted on a 56-yard touchdown run. He has now gone 41 after the Redskins opened the scoring here in the second half to put the Giants to within one. He gets a lead block from Carpenter, number 26, and the rest of it is just a sprint to the corner.
He got a great trap from Chris Godfrey, number 61, and here's a little guy. I call him little because he's only 5'7". He got his first start last year against this Washington team, and in that game he rushed for 3 touchdowns, which was ties a Giant record for rushing touchdowns.
Rutledge having a bit of a problem, but gets it down. Schubert gets it through. We're tied up, and Morris is over 100 yards for the game tonight. Morris now for the season up around 750 yards. Heading for a 1,000-yard season. 10 touchdowns. Giants set to kick off now. Eric Schubert, one of the reasons he's around. After Ali Haji Sheikh was hurt, they brought in Jess Atkinson. He couldn't get it into the end zone, but Eric Schubert can. Ken Jenkins waits for it. It's a high kick that Jenkins takes at the 2. Jenkins finds an opening. He's out over the 30 to the 33-yard line. A 31-yard return. A flag is down back at the 20-yard line. And a good effort by Jenkins could be reduced considerably. Referee once again tonight, Fred Wyant.
Illegal block in the back, number 59. First down.
And so, the effort by Jenkins will be shortened up considerably. Chris Keating with an illegal block for the Redskins. 10:56 remaining here in the third quarter. We're tied at 14. The Redskins desperately need a win tonight. They are 5-5 on the season. A win tonight, and they'd be one game behind the Giants and the Cowboys. The Giants, however, with a win tonight, will take a one-game lead over the Cowboys. Philadelphia is at 6-5. So the Redskins with a win tonight would not only help their own purposes, but they would really help the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants looking to win their 5th in a row. They haven't done that since 1970 when Alex Webster was the coach. On first down, Rader hit Byron Hunt right in the stomach. Will they rib him when they look at the movies on Tuesday?
That's only if they win the game will they rib him. If they lose the game, they may not even talk to him.
His eyeballs were rolling end zone, end zone, end zone. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. He hits Byron Hunt right in the stomach. You'll remember that for a long time. 2nd down and 10. Didier on the move. This is Keith Griffin. And Griffin hit first by Gary Reasons and then just buried. It'll be 3rd down and long for Jay Schrader. Looks over to the sidelines to pick up the play. In 3rd down and 7.
In defense of Schrader's pass the last time, Don Warren, number 85, had run a hook pattern. He was going to slide out, and he fell down right as Schrader was throwing the ball.
And Byron Hunt had run a perfect pattern. Marshall gets to Schrader, but he gets the ball to Griffin. And Griffin out over the 30-yard line. A Redskins 1st down, and that was a great play by Schrader. Leonard Marshall was right in his face. He had to go up high to deliver the ball.
All right, well, what they're doing is they're running a screen pass to the left side here, and you see Marshall come from the outside to the left of the screen, and this whole area to the left by the 10-yard line is wide open. The 2 offensive linemen get out there smartly and lead Griffith for a nice game.
Keith Griffin, they use him like Joe Washington was used here for several years. He's a good running back. He had 164 yards against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, but he's a good receiver, and he has given the Redskins a 1st down at their own 33-yard line. Reagan turns back into a lot of trouble, and the ball is loose again. Reason puts a hit on Reagan, who coughs it up once again as Kenny Hill covers. That's the 2nd fumble of the night, the 2nd lost fumble by Reagan.
And the Skins they didn't lose a fumble for the last 4 games. Normally they hold on to that football, especially John Riggins.
Gary Reasons was the hitter. Riggins the hittee, and Kenny Hill made the recovery. The Giants tied at 14 with the Redskins. 9:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 1st down at the Redskins' 33-yard line. Joe Morris, right side. And good judgment. The better part of valor. Morris checks out with about an 8-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 2. And let's take a look at Riggins again. You watch 55 of the Giants put the hit on him.
This is a play they run 100 times. The ball is placed in there perfectly. Riggins carrying the ball the way he normally would carry the ball. But when he's hit by number 55, the helmet hit the ball, and the ball came right out. I'm a little surprised. I see George Rogers on the bench. Maybe something is wrong with him, but I'm a little surprised George is not playing.
Morris and Carson are the setbacks for the Giants. 2nd down and 2. Morris spins and twists and tries to get the 1st down, and he'll be very close. Tom Beasley in there defensively now for the Redskins, in on that stop.
You know, sometimes you have to give the defensive players credit. Gary Reasons did a tremendous job of causing John Riggins to fumble that ball. He put that headgear right in there, right on the football, and knocked it loose.
I don't know what's with this guy. Once again, I told you, you're not going to wear this Giant team down running, and normally that's when Riggins is at his best, when you're trying to wear the defense down.
That's an amazing stat. They have not stopped a 3rd and 1 all year. Carson, number 44, is a good blocker. This time he is the running back, and this time the Redskins will get their first stop of a 3rd and 1 situation all year long. And the Giants now have a decision time. They can go for the field goal and the lead, or they can go on 4th down and what appears to be less than a yard.
Now we go back to that play when Frank said it, discretion was a better part of valor by the runner, by Joe Morris. Joe Morris, sometimes you'll run out of bounds and use discretion if you already have a 1st down. But when you run 8 yards and you got 2 yards for the 1st down, sometimes you should go for that 1st down.
Bill Parcells elects to go. 4th down, just a little less than a yard. Carson and Morris with a setback. Morris, he won't get it. Of such plays, our games turned around. Parcells gave it a shot. He's unhappy, but credit a fine defensive effort by the heart of that Redskins defense. And that defense is playing hurt tonight.
Well, no one has more respect for little Joe Morris than I have, but on that first down play, after you get 8 yards, you should try to get the first down, especially on this part of the field.
The Redskins get it back. They have it at their own 23-yard line. 1st and 10. We're midway through the third quarter, and we're tied at 14. 7:34 remaining in the third quarter. The Giants and the Redskins were tied at 14. Hard-hitting game, bitter rivalry between these two teams. On 1st and 10, Slater, and the ball is lost by George Rogers. And the Giants are saying they got it again. And indeed they do. George Rogers this time coughs it up. John Riggins has given it up twice tonight, and the Redskins have not fumbled in weeks. Terry Williams covers for the Giants.
Well, they haven't played against a defense like the Giants in weeks, and as we said earlier, the Giants are a team that will beat you up. As the game goes on, they'll wear their opponents down when you got linebackers like Byron Hunt weighing 242 and Reasons at 235, and of course Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson. Well, hey, they'll soften you up for later on in the game.
1st and 10, the Giants at the 23-yard line. Morris gets outside once again and turns on the speed. Morris down close to the 10-yard line, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
Channel 4, WTAE-TV, Pittsburgh.
Giants and the Redskins, they're tied in the third quarter at 14. The Redskins open the scoring. Theisman, who later left to go to the hospital to be looked at, it was determined he had a compound fracture of the right leg. He's out of it. The Giants came back to tie it up. Joe Morris, 56-yard touchdown. John Riggins took it in from 1 yard out. Morris again on 41-yard touchdown run. Now the Giants to the 2nd and 3 inside Redskin territory. And wide open is Morris out of the backfield. He'll have a Giants first down at the 9-yard line. Hit there by Raphael Terry. Joe Morris having a tremendous night for the Giants. He has run one in from 56 yards out, one from 41 yards out, well over 100 yards, and well on his way to a 1,000-yard season. Carson, 44, who blocked for Herschel Walker for 3 years with the New Jersey Generals, is in there now with Joe Morris. And that was Carson with a blistering block that springs Morris into the end zone. Carson leveled the Redskins. Morris turned it inside, scores his 3rd touchdown of the night from 8 yards out.
That was an excellent block by Carson, but even if he hadn't got the block, you really gotta admire Joe Morris. I like the way he runs when he makes up his mind to get upfield. Watch, he just takes off. He's not looking for anything. He knows where he's supposed to go. He sees it already, and bingo, he's right upfield.
Carson leveled Malott.
Malott at 6'4", 237. That was a pretty good lick Carson put on him.
The Giants have retaken the lead. Eric Schubert, the storied one, who was teaching school 3 weeks ago when the Giants needed a field goal kicker. They had looked at him in the summer. They had cut him. They brought him back, and he hasn't missed since. Schrader once again. A moment ago, if you were with us, I told you in the first half, Theisman back to pass on a flea flicker. Bottom of your screen, you'll see number 56. That's Lawrence Taylor on the sack. And again, if you have a weak stomach, don't watch it. Bill Theisman, right leg, caught under Lawrence Taylor. Compound fracture of the right leg. Certainly the season is gone. At the age of 36, you wonder about the future for Joe Theisman. But we wish him well. A gutsy performer for so many years, 12 years here with the Redskins. On 1st and 10, Griffin. Byron Hunt was there. Gary Reasons was there. And there's a loss of a couple back to the 20-yard line.
Yes, it certainly wasn't a pretty sight there for Keith Griffith. When you get the ball and you see big number 57 standing there unblocked.
Byron Hunt has been playing and starting for Carl Banks, who sprained his knee a few weeks ago, came back a couple of weeks ago from the injury reserve, and he is starting to see more playing time. We've seen Banks in and out of the lineup tonight. They have marked with the 21, so it'll be 2nd down and 11. Moving over on the left side, you saw Russ Grimm, who ordinarily plays at the left guard position, has moved out to replace Dan McQuaid, who had a tough time with Jim Jeffcoat, who had 7 sacks against the Redskins a week ago. And Jeff Bostic is playing at the left guard position. Illegal procedure against Grimm is the call.
I tell you, when you have Lawrence Taylor lined up to that side on the outside, ready to rush the pass, there are a lot of offensive tackles want to get a head start. And Russ, again, not used to playing out there, tried to get a little head start.
These two teams were the two least penalized teams into tonight's game. The Giants had the fewest in the league at 44. The Redskins at 45 were second best, and they had given up the fewest penalty yards. There have been some flags, however, tonight.
And it looked as though Griffin would get much more than he got. Byron Hunt with a stand-up block against the screen man gave George Martin time to get there, and a flag goes down late. We've got a hard-hitting game. We've had several flare-ups. Here's the call. Fred Wyant. That RF microphone of the officials breaking up tonight, off and on, but you heard the face mask calls as Gary Reason is detected with the face mask, and we are on what we call our backup audio. We apologize for it if it does not sound like the ordinary audio that we bring you week in and week out. But you better believe our talented group of technicians are
Scrambling all over the place trying to get things straightened out. Second down and 7 for the Redskins. They trail the Giants by 7 here in the third quarter with a little more than 4 minutes remaining. Griffin. And Griffin to the 30-yard line. Gain of about 6. It'll be 3rd and 2. Lawrence Taylor was making sure that Griffin progressed no further. And Mark Haynes is now in the lineup for the Giants at that familiar left corner spot where he has been to the Pro Bowl for the last 3 years. Twice, Art Monk made big receptions over on the side of Elvis Patterson. We speculated that we might see Mark Haynes. We have him out there now. 3rd down and 2. Trader, Gideon is deep downfield, and Patterson running stride for stride with him. Patterson in there on the prevent defense. And it will bring up 4th down.
Well, I'm sure if Jay Schrader had that one to do over again, he'd try and get that ball somewhere in Didier's reach. He's a big receiver, Didier is, and he had a smaller man trying to cover him. At 6'5", he would have had a good shot at the ball.
Steve Cox is on for the Redskins. Phil McConkey is back for the Giants. Cox averaging a little over 42 yards into the night. Not a good kick off the side of his foot. McConkey calls for and executes the fair catch at the 38-yard line. The Giants with good field position on a short 37-yard punt. A reminder, Saturday, CFA count 95 yards. Oklahoma, the nation's #1 defense, allowing only 186 yards. Swift is going to give. On 1st and 10. Morris goes down. Dave Butts was there. Gene Hamill was there.
Well, that's a tough play to run when you're trying to run an inside trap. And the guy who lines up that tackle, no one blocked him.
That's the way I'm sure you put it up on the board. Ron Earhart, the offensive coordinator for the Giants. They have a young defensive coordinator, Bill Belichick. The defensive coordinator is 33 years old, and the Giants, through 10 games, have the #1 defense in the NFL. Rob Carpenter back to the line of scrimmage. That's all. Dave Butts must be fired up. He was there again. It'll be 3rd down and a little more than 12 for the Giants. In come the specialty receiving. Adams is in, number 33. Galbraith. The Giants like to use him out of the backfield. Had a couple of big years in New Orleans before going to Minnesota and did the same thing up there. The Giants liked what they saw, and they brought him in, and they use him out of that backfield. Number 30, Tony Galbraith, frequently. In and out of the hands of Lionel Manuel.
That could have been 6 points.
Certainly one he could have handled. It had a lot on it. But Manuel is very sure-handed. He made a spectacular catch in the first half, a diving catch. But that was one that got away. And that produces the punting unit for the Giants. Sean Landeta. Ken Jenkins is back. Landeta again. A high punt. Taken by Jenkins at the 20. He dances, looks for some kind of a gap, and then puts the head down and goes to the 24-yard line. And again, a lot of late hitting out there. Byron Hunt has been all over the field tonight in all kinds of melees with different Washington Redskins. 1:46 remaining in the third quarter. The Redskins in a game that they feel they must win to have any opportunity at all for a divisional championship. Trail the Giants 21-14. John Landeta has 3 great years with the Stars of the USFL. The thing that he did so well that got Bill Parcells to take the risk and let a very popular kicker for over a decade with the Giants, Dave Jennings, go was the way he kicked under pressure in playoff competition with the Stars. And he has justified Parcells' decision. On 1st and 10. Schrader with a lot of time. And now just simply throws it away. And Art Monk was wide open downfield, but Jay Schrader was very busy.
Well, I see one of the Giants walked up to the official and said, hey, that's throwing the ball away. There was no receiver around there. There was about, I'd say 30 jerseys around that ball, Joe.
That's right, but I don't think any of them were eligible at this time. They were off the field on the sideline. Baseball in 87.
Oh, they won it. Mo Siegel, by the way, recovering from a little heart problem, has been the leader in trying to get baseball back in the nation's capital. Had some interesting all-star games. They're not all-star games, but old-timer games. Big crowd. 2nd and 10 for the Redskins. Schrader runs it once again. Close to first down yardage. I believe he'll have it. But I'm sure every time head coach Joe Gibbs watches his young quarterback, the one viable quarterback he has remaining, run with the football, he just quakes in his cleats. Dwight Gooden of the Mets had a bunch of those. He played in the Toronto chain down there after only playing football a couple of years with UCLA. And yet, Bobby Bethler thought enough of him that he picked him as soon as he is eligible as a 3rd-round pick a year ago. On 1st down and 10. Schrader with a rifle shot is complete, and it goes out to Gary Clark, who has a first down near the 47-yard line of the Giants, a 17-yard pickup.
Gary Clark turning into quite a little receiver. That time he went down the left side and ran a square-in pattern. The Giants went to a zone defense. So Clark ran behind the linebackers, in front of the secondary, in front of Terry Kennard, and catches the pass.
He played a couple of years at Jacksonville, had a couple of big years for them, 56 receptions this past season. But at James Madison, a small college of Virginia, he had 155 career receptions. So he is effective. You touched on it a little bit, Joe, as we ticked off the final seconds here in the third quarter. Very small, 5'9", 173 pounds, but he has played very big for the Redskins over the past few weeks. We'll be back at the
Giants linebacker is so good at covering the underneath stuff, he's going to have to get behind it.
1st down and 10 as we begin the fourth quarter. The Redskins at the 48-yard line of the Giants, and Schrader in trouble. Skips out of it, gets the ball to Didier. And Didier dances away from Lawrence Taylor. A gain of about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The ball now inside the Giants' 44-yard line. Halftime stats. We'll see what transpired in the third quarter. Remember, the Redskins opened it with an onside kickoff. They recovered it, and they took it in. Numbers getting very close. Key element, perhaps, the 3 fumbles. 1 by George Rogers, 2 by John Riggins. 2nd down and 6. Don Warren on the move. Keith Griffin. And Griffin, he's not going to get it. He's 5'8", 185-pounder, but one of the Griffin brothers, there were 7 of them. Perhaps the most prominent one, Archie Griffin, a 2-time Heisman Award winner, the only one that ever won it twice. And, of course, Ray Griffin, both having played for Cincinnati. And Leonard Marshall, the sack leader in the NFL with 13.5, is slow getting up. And we're going to have a measurement. Griffin very close to another Redskin first down. And he has it.
You know, I don't know if old Leonard wasn't just taking his time getting up at 6'3", 285. It does take a while to get up off the ground.
He's been chasing quarterbacks all night long. Theisman danced around in the early going until, once again, if you were not with us, he suffered a very severe injury, a compound fracture of the right lower leg, and was taken from the field on a stretcher to a hospital. Now, Jay Schrader has been dancing all over the field, and big, heavy linemen sometimes get a little tired when they chase quarterbacks. Schrader on the move again. Rifles a shot, and it's complete. That's Gary Clark once again, and Schrader this time really put something on that.
He has a strong arm, almost. Well, it looks as strong as John Elway's to me. The receiver simply runs a deep pattern and breaks it back to the quarterback. But he'll stop and come back to the quarterback.
That's Patterson offering the coverage, and that was a great move by Clark. Gave him the little move. Patterson was convinced he was going on the fly, went into a full sprint himself, and Clark broke it off beautifully, and he gets a first down for the Redskins. 17-yard line of the Giants.
What a pass that was. He was on the run when he threw that ball.
He's looking better by the minute, Jay Schrader. He's 8 of 13, 164 yards. Movement on the part of the right side of the Redskins. I think you saw a big Mark May, number 73. He'll probably get the false start.
I saw a couple other guys move too there quickly. That could be Schrader's cadence. You know, this team is so used to listening to Joe Theisman's cadence. When a backup quarterback gets in there who hasn't been working during the week, well, they're just not used to his cadence, and I think that's what the problem is.
Seen a couple of things during the course of the game since Schrader's come into it. The time down near the goal line when he got his foot tangled up with the center. And now the Redskins a little tentative coming off the line of scrimmage, and I think you're probably right. The cadence of all quarterbacks is different. First down 15, the Giants showing a blitz. Draw play, Griffin. Griffin in the arms of Curtis McGriff. Does not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Big Curtis McGriff out of University of Alabama. I had a good visit with him when we were in New York the last time. He's turned into quite a football player for these Giants in his 6th year. You know, you don't see him rushing the passer very often. One reason, he's not that quick. The other thing, they ask him to stay at home, play the draw play, and play the screen. So he stays at home basically around the line of scrimmage.
Like this, Dale. One time when he was a rookie, we said he didn't start for the Bear. At halftime, Bear Bryant called our truck. Said, yeah, he did start. 2nd down and 16. And once again, Schrader did not have the receiver open early enough. Third down now and 16. By the way, we mentioned that Schrader had a tough time against pitching down in that Carolina League when he was trying to turn a football career into a baseball career. Today, Willie McGee, center fielder for the St. Louis Cardinals, was named the National League's most valuable player for 1985. Our congratulations to Willie. 5 defensive backs. Mark Haynes is in there. And that's secondary for the Giants on 3rd and 16. The Redskins go underneath to Don Warren, and he bounces right off Patterson. Does not get the first down. Close to the 11-yard line. And it will be 4th down. Let's look at it again. They did not go up topside. They tried to go under.
They tried to go under to pick up the yardage. I think they're in field goal range now, but I think old Elvis right here is going to have to get some Anderson for this headache he's getting ready to have.
Out comes Mark Mosley, 11 of 15 on the season. Solid straightaway kicker. One of the members of a vanishing breed, these straightaway kickers. Mosley from 28 yards out. Took 3 on the board for the Redskins. They trailed the Giants by 4. We're in the 4th period. In the game from RFK Stadium, the nation's capital. For the Redskins, so important tonight. As we look at George Adams, he awaits the kickoff from Steve Cox. The Redskins lose tonight, and they fall to 5 and 6, and they can just about forget any hopes for divisional titles. Would have to look for help to get in as a wild card. They know that. They've won the division the last 2 years. They go with an onside kick once again. The ball is loose. And the run! Get up! Get up! He can run the ball.
Just keep it.
Andy Hedden tried to handle the ball, and it was taken by Greg Williams, who hustled down under it. He could have got up, but of course the ball would have been dead. You cannot advance the onside kick.
Well, one thing about these 2 onside kicks and the 1 fake punt, I guess Joe Gibbs feels that he can't beat this Giant team playing a conventional form. He feels he has to do something special.
That's Andy Hedden right there. He misses, and there comes Williams.
He's done it 3 times, and it's worked 3 times.
I'll tell you, I learned something tonight. I never knew you couldn't run an onside kick once you recovered it.
47-yard line, 1st down and 10. Redskins trail by 4. Schrader, a lot of time, and Schrader fires to Didier. Schrader held it a long time, and he was really hammered just as he delivered the ball. But that's an 11-yard pickup, another Redskin 1st down. Again, you'll see the pressure. This is Schrader with a lot of time. He gets hit right there. Didier had the yardage, gets up and tries to run it, and he loses yardage back to about the 38-yard line, so it will be 2nd down and 1.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to get the ball to Gary Clark in a deep pattern. He ran right past Terry Williams the last play.
2nd down and 1. Griffin, he has the 1st down inside the Giants' 35-yard line. Harry Carson made the stop for the Giants. This crowd on their feet almost at every play. The 147th consecutive sellout at RFK Stadium. This is Joe Gibbs, arrived in 81. They've had a lot to cheer about. Joe Gibbs lost his first 5 games, but finished that season at 8-8. Won the Super Bowl after the 82 season, lost to the Raiders after 83, knocked off in the playoffs a year ago by the Bears, and trying to stay alive here in 85. On 1st down. Schrader. Art Monk. A Redskins 1st down. Schrader looking very cool.
I like the scheme, too. They're sprinting Schrader out quite a bit, tiring the New York Giant pass rush. These fellas are tired out there right now. Here you see a floating pocket to the right, and it was really a good move on Schrader's part here, not throwing the ball the 1st time, 2nd time, but the 3rd time for the completion. That's a good decision.
He almost put Harry Carson right up into the air, and as soon as Carson came down, he fired, and it was complete. Monk, 7 receptions, 128 yards. Remember, he didn't play in the Giants' first game. The Giants won 17-3 as we see movement. And were the Giants drawn off? Again, it could be that count again, Joe.
Well, in this particular play, it was an early snap count. We usually call it the 1st sound. The quarterback would get in there and call the play and say on the 1st sound. Well, that particular time, one of the Giants moved, or one of them may have yelled something, and the right side of the Washington line got started too early.
We've seen that happen a couple of times tonight, and you do get it when you change quarterbacks.
And it could have been an intentional call by the defense, but they do have defensive line calls also and linebacker calls, so maybe they were making one of their normal calls on the defense.
Schrader is 11 of 17 for his head coach, Joe Gibbs, 197 yards.
Against the #1 pass defense in football. Not bad for a rookie.
First down, 15. The Redskins near the Giants' 29-yard line. Griffin and the little man carries the Giants, and a late flag comes in.
Late and a far flag. That flag came from 25 yards downfield on a running play.
And Schrader indicates it's against the Giants. Here's Fred Wyant.
Terry Kennard is baffled. He's getting furious. He doesn't know what happened out there.
Parcells will get into it also. He's a very emotional coach. Former player of Wichita State, drafted by Detroit, never played. Went into high school, later college coaching.
Is that holding? That's a running play.
They call it against Terry Kennard. An illegal use of the hand. Parcells is really upset. There'll be an automatic first. Accompanies the penalty.
The Giants are the least penalized football team in the NFL.
That's history.
Yeah, but that's not what's surprising Coach Parcells now. He can't believe they got called for defensive holding on a running play.
Down to the 14-yard line. The Redskins trailing by 4. First down and 10. Schrader fires a shot to Didier. Touchdown. The Redskins will have the lead. And what a story is developing around Jay Schrader tonight. That was a beautifully thrown pass. More than that, he hit the ball well on the play action, throws the linebackers. Didier got himself in a one-on-one, and Schrader put it right there. Mark May, slow getting up. And Schrader, very concerned about his big offensive lineman. Let's look again.
Well, Clint Didier certainly used his size here, and Schrader put the ball where he had to. Didier at 6'5", and Elvis Patterson at 5'11", somewhat of a mismatch.
You saw Gary Reasons, the linebacker, who would have dropped in front of that pass, go with his run fake that Schrader hit so well. And that's his first career touchdown pass. He missed the conversion. Mark Mosley missed the conversion. And that could be quite a difference. The score now. The Giants 21, the Redskins 23. They only lead by 2 when it could have been 3. The Redskins are living on a high wire tonight. All 3 of their touchdowns have come off to some kind of a trick play. 2 onside kicks that they recovered and took in for touchdowns. Their first series tonight, they faked a punt on 4th down. They took that all the way in. But they have now just missed the conversion as George Adams very wisely stays in the end zone on a high, deep kick by Steve Cox. Mosley missed the conversion a moment ago, and that changed the character of the lead for the Washington Redskins considerably. Now, we'll take a look at it. Maybe you can see if your screens are adjusted properly. The laces are facing Mark Mosley. Now, that should not matter. You don't like it as a kicker. I used to kick these things. You don't like it. But for a conversion, that's not difficult at all. That was just mishit.
Well, does Joe Theisman normally hold for him?
Yes, he does.
Talk about the holder makes a big difference.
Makes a major difference, particularly in the heads of kickers. As we watch Bill Morris go down, that defense of the Redskins were over on the sidelines while we were away, and they were really talking it up.
Well, if they can stop the Giants, they have the football game. They realize that right now. The game's in the hands of the defense.
Bill Theisman, we understand at the moment, is being prepped for surgery at a nearby hospital. There was a compound fracture at the top of the sock level of the lower leg. And he will be in a long cast, we are advised, at least 4 to 6 weeks. As for Dr. Jackson, the Redskins team doctor, second down at 14, almost picked off. Raphael Cherry who opened tonight for Tony Peters, a strong safety, just about had the interception off Phil Simms. And now Simms is faced with a third down and 14. And also a very fired up Washington Redskins defense. We are midway through the final quarter. Simms having a tough night, 6 of 9, 93 yards. Simms. That's Adams, the rookie first-round draft pick from Kentucky, and he gets the Giants out of trouble on a 3rd and 14. He carries it out for first down yardage near the 34-yard line on a 19-yard pickup.
And it's a good thing number 51, Monty Coleman, can run, because he made a touchdown-saving tackle on that play.
He sure did. Brad Benson and Art Oates, Godfrey and Nelson all did a heck of a job for the Giants that time, pass protecting.
It was Coleman who tried to cover Tony Dorsett last week in a game that the Redskins lost by a touchdown, as Dorsett took in a long one on 1st and 10. Phil Simms with a lot of time, and Lionel Manuel was open. He slipped. Down he went. It's incomplete.
Nice job by that offensive line of the Giants.
Lionel Manuel, perhaps the best of the pass route running receivers for the Giants. He was open there. Simms had it on the way when Manuel caught a cleat, and down he went. 6:44. That remaining in the game. The Redskins leading by 2. The blitz is coming. Simms is going to go down. He's sacked for the 4th time tonight. Tom Beasley was there first. And the loss is all the way back to the 25-yard line. This is really a soaked-up Redskins team. They have battled adversity all year long. Remember early in the year that 10-0 lead against the Chicago Bears? They lost their punter on the ensuing touchdown return by Willie Galt. Then they just got blown away by the Bears. And they have been up and down, back and forth. They've been widely criticized right here in their own bailiwick. Right now, the Giants are looking at a 3rd and 19. Simms, a strike, and it goes to Bobby Johnson. And Johnson held short of the first down, but at least the Giants will be kicking from much better field position.
But I'll never figure that out. When you have 3rd and 19, why do you throw a 15-yard out pattern?
That usually is your receiver and not your passer. The receiver has got to know that he has got to get that yardage or it's useless. Johnson shook his head as he went to the sidelines, and I'm sure he'll be talking to Bill Parcells about the pattern that he ran. Landetta. He's back to punt. Jenkins is back for the Redskins. The flag is down as Landetta hangs up another beauty. Fair catch indicated early once again by Jenkins near the 13-yard line. But Landetta, in all probability, will have to do it again.
Landetta is some punter.
Indeed he will. Bill Parcells wants to talk to one of his players. I think we can breathe a little and say you have to get on the line of scrimmage.
4th down.
It's a rule. You have to have at least 7 men on the line of scrimmage. You can have as many as 10, but you have to have at least 7 or it's a penalty.
Boy, that'll give a coach gray hairs, won't it? Most fundamental thing in the game, how you line up. Landetta once again. 6:03 remaining in the game. And the Giants trailing by 2. This time, Landetta doesn't turn it over, and it's a short kick. But it does take a Giants bounce. And a good one inside the 20. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line. It was not a thing of beauty, but it was very effective. As Landetta nets 55 yards out of it. Sold out, has been sold out 147 consecutive times. They really get into their football, and well, they should. They have been wildly successful since Joe Gibbs arrived here, and of course through the 70s, wildly successful under head coach George Allen. Right now, they hang to a 2-point lead over the Giants with 5:51 remaining in the game, and Jay Schrader looks over the Giants defense from his 18-yard line on 1st and 10. Griffin to the 20-yard line. He'll get 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. I want to remind you, later tonight on Nightline, seconds ticking away. 5:20, the clock is moving. For the Redskins, a victory tonight, and they're right back in it. Schrader, another clothesline shot goes to Gary Clark. And he'll have another Redskins 1st down out over the 30-yard line. He had a lot on this one, Joe.
Oh, what a fine pass and what a fine catch. This ball is really not easy to handle. It has so much velocity on it. Clark has to extend himself, use all hands, and does a great job of bringing it in.
Clark is only 5'9", so while he had to come well off this natural surface, he is rather short. He went up and got it. The Redskins have another 1st down. Griffin once again. Great running by Griffin. Dodged the Giant at the line of scrimmage. Turned nothing into a whole bunch. A gain of almost 8 yards.
And we may be seeing the character of this Washington team change now. Historically, at this time of the game, if they had the lead, you'd see Riggins in the backfield, and with George Rogers, you would expect to see George Rogers there, and they run the clock down. Well, it's apparent now they're going to have to throw the ball somewhat in this drive if they're going to keep the ball, and that may be a characteristic that's going to become quite common with these guys, with Schrader throwing the ball.
2 weeks ago, this man, Griffin, had 164 yards rushing, averaging over 10 yards a rush against Atlanta. So while he's 5'8", 185-pounder, this former University of Miami Hurricane running back, there's a lot of power in this little package.
And if I was him, I'd tell my agent, I said, look here, it's the 4th quarter, and every time it's the 4th quarter, I'm in the football game, while John Riggins is making about $800,000, is on the sideline, and George Rogers, he's making about $600,000. He's on the sideline. Why are you paying me $100,000?
We know how your mind works.
I'd like to be his agent right now.
Another 1st down. Incidentally, Dr. Jackson, the team physician of the Washington Redskins, has just issued a statement. Joe Theisman will not be able to resume any kind of physical activity for at least 6 months. Compound fracture of both bones of the right leg. We wish him the very best. A colleague, of course, at the Super Bowl last year. He's been around for 12 years. He had 71 consecutive starts, the most of any active quarterback in the National Football League, and suffered that injury here tonight in the 1st half. 1st down, Redskins. And it's Griffin once again on about a 3-yard pickup before Curtis McGriffin made the stop for the Giants. But as O.J. mentioned, the seconds are ticking off. Down close to 3.5 minutes remaining in the game. Giants desperately would like to get the football back, like to move it into field goal range. They could hang up a field goal, 3 points, they would have the lead once again. Give credit to a battling bunch of Washington Redskins tonight. Handicapped by multiple injuries, they have really scrapped with the Giants. Griffin once again. Out over the 45, near the 47. It'll be 3rd down and 4. The Giants have 3 timeouts. The Redskins also have 3, but they're not interested. 3rd and 4.
You're looking at a tired Keith Griffith there. And I'm not supposed to be out here doing this. Griffin.
I mentioned that 164 yards against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. Other than that, the best game he's had is 38 yards. And tonight he's working on that. Third down and 4. Incomplete, intended for Art Monk. And now the Redskins will have to punt. But they have moved the ball close to midfield. And the Redskins, I'm sure, are hopeful of keeping the Giants deep in their own territory. Steve Cox is on. You're looking at Phil McConkey. Very sure-handed. Member of the Giants special teams. On the first occasion we saw Steve Cox tonight, he threw a pass on fourth down to Gary Clark that opened a drive that led to the Redskins taking a 7-0 lead. This time Cox boots it up high, and McConkey calls for the fair catch near the 14-yard line. 2:17 remaining in the game. Here comes the Giants offensive unit. You hear the roar of the crowd as the defensive unit for the Skins comes onto the field. And we'll remind you, we'll cross the country and be with you from San Francisco next Monday night. The 49ers back in it. Victory yesterday while the Rams were losing. Seattle, of course, dueling in the Western Division of the AFC. Denver leads that division, followed by the Raiders. The Giants will try to work it into field goal range. Sims out of the way.
Yeah, Mel Coffin made a good defensive play that time. It looked like Manuel was going to be breaking open on the sideline for a completion, but Coffin got his hands up in front of the ball, knocked it down.
Mark Moses, he missed the conversion a short while ago. Otherwise, the Redskins would have a 3-point lead. 2:12 remaining. The Giants have a 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts, but they have been very ineffective offensively here in the second half. The official got in the way of Joe Morris. And Sims had to deliver it as Butts was putting the pressure on. As a matter of fact, immediately after he delivered it, Butts gave him a shot. Watch number 88.
Joe Morris was open. It's just break to the game. He just runs into the official.
That's Dave Moss, the umpire. Morris collides with him right there.
Well, that's too bad, because if Morris would have been able to make the catch, he certainly had enough room to get the first down.
3rd down and 14. Blitz is on to the Redskins. Sims, rifle the shot, incomplete. Fired the ball to Lionel Manuel. Way too much on that ball. No way Manuel could have handled it, and had he caught it, he would have been short of the first down.
Yeah, the pass was behind him also, but if the Giants did anything good on his last possession, they did not use much time off the clock. There's only 2:04 left. It's going to have to get stopped for the 2-minute warning. The Giants have 3 timeouts left, so they still have a shot of getting the ball back.
That's an optimistic way of looking at it.
That's the way we have to look at it, right?
The 2 ponies in the room. John Landetta hangs it up high, and it does hang there, doesn't turn over, and Jenkins makes the fair catch near midfield for the Redskins. 37-yard punt by Landetta. We get the 2-minute warning. The Giants have 3 timeouts. The Redskins have a 2-point lead in a game they desperately need. Redskins are winning this game on their own. They have been superb on defense here in the second half. The Giants have only 22 total yards in the fourth quarter. They have 241 yards total tonight. In every game they played, the 10 games they played prior to tonight, they've had at least 300 yards, and the only NFL team to do so. They do not have a first down here in the fourth quarter. So Richie Pettibone, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, has things happening defensively. And they have the football back to the Redskins at their own 49-yard line, less than 2 minutes to play. And they send Griffin over the right side, and Griffin gets into Giants territory near the 48 for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And this will tell you something. Riggins, at 36 years old, on the sidelines, has been such an inspiration, a big part of this offensive unit over the past 3 years. He fumbled twice tonight, lost 2 fumbles. George Rogers fumbled and lost the ball. And we have watched Keith Griffin throughout the fourth quarter. Timeout now. now by the Giants. And this ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in '86. And by light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be, all you can be. And by GMAC, the financial services people from General Motors. Perhaps the star is born tonight. Jay Schrader coming off the bench for the injured Joe Theisman, who we understand will be going into surgery very shortly. The bulletin's coming from the hospital. He will be unable to take part in anything physical for some 6 months. Second down and 8. 1:50 on the clock as the Giants have used one timeout. We suspect they will go with another one. The Redskins are unable to negotiate a first down on this play. And they will not. Griffin to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And the Giants will stop the clock once again. The executive producer of ABC Sports, of course, is Rune Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Bob Goodrich. Directed by Chet Forty. Our technical director, Joe Shabo. Associate directors, Vince D'Addario. Technical manager, Rick Okolsky. Our unit manager, Ermin Norris, is with us tonight. Telecommunications manager, Mike Farrell. Assistant to the producer, Amy Smolens and Chaz Wiseman. Stats and graphics and research by Steve Hurt. Boy, he can come up with some things for you. Our statistician, Joe Cox, busy tonight. By the way, just announced his engagement to Mary Wynn. Our congratulations to them. Our computer graphics, Robbie Clarick. Booth assistant, Lisa Conroy. Spotter, of course, Steve Bazika. Jay Schrader, what do you think, Joe Namath?
Well, I think he's doing a great job, that's for sure. He brought this team, well, he's got him a lead going right now. He's kept his cool out there, too. I like to see that. Threw one bad pass, but as O.J. pointed out at the time, the tight end did fall down. The pass that he hit Reasons right in the midsection with. Other than that, he's been sharp tonight. Moves around well out there, and as I said, he keeps calm. And this is probably the worst we'll see him at any rate, because I think he's rusty right now. He's going to be much better than we are seeing tonight.
This could be close in history to the Redskins be able to get a first down. And they have a third down and 7 at the Giants 47. The bootleg will not work. Lawrence Taylor reading it. Out on the other side was Byron Hunt. And out comes the punting unit.
That's good defense. Now, that's staying at home right there. Byron Hunt did a terrific job.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
Well, now, Eric Schubert
facing the sidelines, Joe, and I mentioned he came in a little more than 2 weeks ago when the Giants thought they could bring back Ali Haji Sheik. Sheik's leg was not ready. The Giants had looked at him in preseason. They released him. And then when the Sheik was hurt in the second game of the season, they brought in Jess Atkinson. He had trouble getting the ball deep on the kickoff, so they let him go. He went to St. Louis, and they brought in Schubert, who was teaching school at the time. And he has hit 6 consecutive in the last 2 games for the Giants, 5 against Tampa Bay to win that one. And he is really looking for an opportunity tonight. Of course, on the sidelines, Mark Mosley, who missed the conversion to set up a possible game-winning field goal for the Giants, is certainly hoping that he will not see Eric Schubert tonight.
Well, if there's a game ball, if the Washington holds on here, it should go to Wayne Sevier, their special teams coach, because those big plays on the special teams, 2 onside kicks, and that fake punt work led to points. They're like 2-3 turnovers.
Cox hits it. And it does not take a good Redskin bounce, but in any event, the Giants, who have not been able to make a first down here in the fourth quarter, are deep in their own territory. They're at the 17-yard line. They have 1 timeout remaining, and there's 1:33 on the clock.
Well, Joe, Phil Simms will get the opportunity now to prove if he's the great quarterback that he feels he is.
I'll correct myself. The Giants have no timeouts remaining. That really compounds the problem. Listen to this crowd. The stadium is rocking. the ball out to Tony Galbraith. Galbraith up for first down yardage, and he also stops the clock. Well, now where will they mark it? 6 on the other side of the field. Yes, they indicate first down. Clock stops at 1:25.
Tony almost got stopped before he got knocked out of bounds, and that would have kept the clock moving.
Next Sunday, by the way, the Giants will be at St. Louis. Then it's Cleveland at home. Then Houston. Then Dallas. The Giants' final game will be against the Pittsburgh Steelers, December 21st. Since Darrell Green was all over McConkey, who's looking for a flag, and he doesn't get it.
He sure should have gotten a flag. That was interference.
Well, his hands was up. He was going for the ball. He just went through the receiver. I feel that should have been interference. Look at this. Come on. Give me a break.
Washington, and it looks like they will go 6-5 tonight. Next Sunday, they're at Pittsburgh. Then San Francisco will be here. Then they are at Philadelphia. Cincinnati at home, and they close at St. Louis. Second and 10. 10, and it's picked off. Vernon Dean. The pass intended for Bobby Johnson.
Put the ball away.
And the Redskins, battling all kinds of adversity. They lost their quarterback, Joe Theisman. They came in with multiple injuries. Tony Peters, a strong safety, couldn't go. Neil Oklewicz was questionable. Their big all-pro tackle, Joe Jacoby, couldn't go. And they have put on a show tonight.
They carrying Vernon Dean off the field. Vernon Dean was looking for someone to lateral the ball to, Joe. I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. In that case, you just wrap up the ball and fall on the ground.
Little holding there.
What holding?
Steps in front of Bobby Johnson with a very acrobatic catch, and the Redskins have it back. The Giants can't stop it anymore. Incidentally, the Giants will drop into a tie with the Dallas Cowboys, 7-4. The Cowboys' schedule will be Philadelphia, St. Louis, Cincinnati, the Giants, and then they close with San Francisco. And don't forget Philadelphia is right in this. They are tied with the Redskins, one game behind the Giants and Dallas.
Yeah, but Frank, I think it's a real shame that the last two offensive plays, the Giants had the ball. Clearly, there were two interference calls that should have been made that weren't made.
That really is the story of pass interference this season. They have liberalized it. It still is a judgment call, but when a defensive back gives any indication of going for that ball, it seems like they do not draw the flags that they have drawn in previous years. Schrader will just drop to one knee, and the Giants do not even have to touch it. Morris had a great game for the Giants. Touchdown runs at 56, 41, and 8 yards. And Jay Schrader. Of such stories are heroes born. Joe Gibbs. And if you can read his mind, it's we are alive and well once again. And the battle continues for Bill Parcells. And Mark Mosley dodged the bullet with a missed conversion tonight. It gave the opportunity for the Giants to win with a field goal. And Phil Simms, it was a rough night all the way around. Jay Schrader got his first touchdown pass of the night. Came in a tough spot. Came up with big plays. Former UCLA Bruin, who only played a couple of years at UCLA, takes the game ball to the locker room. Again, the final score of the Redskins defeat the Giants 23-21.